Welcome to the Daily Influence, where our mission is to deliver a daily dose of positive influence that can uplift you personally or be shared within your sphere of influence. While not every episode may directly apply to your unique circumstances, we strive to provide insights and inspiration relevant to most people's daily, weekly, and monthly lives. Whether you are tuning in during the morning, noon, or night, the Daily Influence is here for you. Listen, share, and embrace the power of influence in your life.
Welcome to another episode of the Daily Influence. I'm so glad you're here to join us today. I'm Gregg-Brooke Koleno with IA Business Advisors and the Daily Influence. And today I'm so excited to introduce you to Wendy Walker of Minuteman Press in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Wendy, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's great. Thanks.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, I started out by trade as a flight attendant. My family's owned a camping resort for 85 years. And as I moved forward, I have two daughters. So I wanted to express, business ownership and move forward with them and give them an opportunity. They don't have to take my business. So I opened a Minuteman Press in some searching for a new business. And so I've given them the opportunity in their future to at least have a choice. With that being said, so now I work two occupations, at least for a little while until I can retire.
Great. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to help share a little bit of positive influence with our listeners today. Wendy, in your opinion, why is it important for individuals to actively seek opportunities to spread positive influence and uplift those around them?
Well, I think, unfortunately, as we've seen over the last couple of years, things have gone from here to maybe not so much. And especially people have separated themselves, and the option, we work better as a team. We do work better as a village. And unfortunately, people have hungered down, become quiet. And so I try to stress, not only with the girls, but in general, that, just one word. Sometimes, like, for example, when I tend to board the aircraft, and when people come in, if I see somebody who's wearing a really nice outfit, or man, you have a good set of eyes, like some people walk into the incredible eyes, I'll be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And I'll compliment it. And it's funny to watch the nonverbal, because people will be, sometimes they're just having a really bad day. And that small bit of telling them something silly, I guess, in some people's opinion, can really make their day better. And I've had people stop and say, oh my God, thank you. I'm getting on this aircraft and I'm going to so-and-so because they're in the hospital. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, that's my little bit. And, and I don't think we get enough compliments. So I try specifically to do that for people. Or just maybe when you start out a sentence, we all know that sometimes, unfortunately, we have to get bad news. But if you start out with all the positives first, it's not such a blow. So, it's being responsible, taking that 5 seconds to think about what you're about to open your mouth with.
I love that so much. In your line of work, your flight attendant line of work, you have the opportunity to have such a positive influence on so many people. And that small random act of kindness that you give, you're exactly right. You can turn someone's day around in an instant. So thank you for having that and doing that to others. I know sometimes people getting onto flights aren't always the happiest people. Other times it's a very joyous occasion to get on a flight. So just knowing that you're there in the skies and welcoming them with open arms, that's amazing.
One of my biggest things is to have conversation. I don't know. I know we've been told we're different types of printers. And I think it's because we try to interact. We try to have conversation, because I guess in the beginning, what I didn't realize is when I'm printing for you, depending on your business, is very important to you. You have your own take in that item. And if I need to understand so that we get it right. And, there's no need to I don't want to start over, and you guys don't want to start over. So I want to try to communicate. And that's what I have found, that there's been a lot of lack of communication. Maybe it's just an industry thing. I'm not sure, but I'm willing to change it.
That's great. I love that. Can you share any specific strategies or initiatives that you've implemented to promote positivity and make a lasting impact in your personal or professional circles?
In my 20s, I started a big quest into looking into the Native American culture, for example, and their, I don't know, the different items of things they did, like sweat lodges, for example. I can't think of the specific word. So I looked into different forms, and I have to say, picked and chose what worked for me. Things to get rid of my stress, books. I was big on self-help books. I probably have a dozen of them at home, if not more, just on one shelf. But what I found is there's a few things I've read. One of them was from an author, Neil Diamond Walsh. And one of his famous books in the beginning was Conversations with God. And one of the things he said was that you have to want for somebody what they want for themselves. So his example was, say there's a married couple, husband now wants to quit, move away, get on a boat, and that's it. And you're his wife thinking, oh my God, what do you think? What are you thinking? But he said, the hardest part is to step back and look at them and say, they want that. I have to want that for you. And it's hard to get there. It's hard, especially if it's a close person. And sometimes what we don't realize is taking the 5 step back and just saying, I've told my girls this. I've been told things that I'm not happy with. I have teenagers. And I look at them and I said, I love you. Mom needs to get back to you on that. The response I'm going to come out with is not going to work for us. So I need to step back. I'll get back to you. And sometimes it's that stepping back, especially because, as you've seen even in your own personal work, we're inundated nonstop. There's items and electronics and stuff constantly coming at us. And people are no longer taking the time to take care of themselves. So even when you get something negative, you have to stop for a minute and listen to somebody and go, okay, not happy with that particular situation, but it's my response to it. How am I going to respond to that? And they say 17 seconds is all it takes to bring something negative into your life. So if you're focused on it for 17 seconds or more, you can pretty much bet you're going to get it. So I try. I'm not always good, but I try to keep these things in mind.
That is a great tool, is to take a break or a breath, a step back, give yourself some time to think about before you respond or act. That's a really great tool. Thank you for sharing that with us, Wendy.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's little things over the course of time.
For sure. How do you maintain your own sense of positivity and motivation, especially during challenging times when you're faced with negativity?
For me, it's very important with my faith. I understand not everybody feels that same way, but we all have something that, call it what you want, whether it be Buddha or God or whatever works for you. And that's fine, but I think you should seek it out to help you take a step back. A lot of times what I've done, especially over the last year, is the truth is we don't have it. You don't have it. I don't have it. We don't got this. And a lot of stuff is out of our control. We just don't realize that. So for me, I'm like, okay, God, I don't got this. Here it is. Here's what I'm thinking. And take this. And for me specifically, I can feel within minutes just the lift. So I do focus a lot on my faith and my church and try to just listen.
Listening is very important, whether it's listening to others, listening to yourself, listening to the universe, your God, whatever you believe in. but really just listening and feeling that to help guide you is a great tool. Thank you for sharing that one. What message or words of encouragement would you like to share with our listeners who aspire to make a positive difference in the world?
Don't give up. And that's for anything. If I told you the extent of my background, you would be shocked at the amount of books I can write. I have 3 decent books I probably could write about my life, and people would just shake their head going, wow, you've been yes, I have. And you can't give up. It's not worth it. And then when you're trying to do positivity, I think sometimes you're better off doing nice things for somebody else, because it's amazing how it takes you away from the thing that you're bothered by. And it could be anything. It could be, for me, I started taking care of my 60-year-old neighbor. He unfortunately had health problems. And that was just by accident. Took in my mother-in-law. She lives with us. Again, by accident. And you just need to drop little bits and pieces. And you never know when you're going to hear about it later. And even one of the silliest things I ever did was make an announcement about a peanut allergy. And next thing I know, I get a letter from our vice president. Like, okay. And all I did was do what I thought was necessary. So sometimes just do what feels right. And that's the thing. You need to feel it. You need to try. Just try and never give up. And it's sometimes so hard. Don't let me make this sound easy. I have not had a good game plan. But sometimes you just have to wake up every day and breathe in and out.
That's very powerful advice. Thank you for sharing that. I think that will really resonate with a lot of people and help have a positive influence on others who really aspire to make a positive difference in the world. Thank you so much, Wendy. If people want to contact you, what is the best way to do so?
Well, we're here at the Minuteman Press in Hoffman Estates. So obviously you'll find us on our website, which is www.he.minutemanpress. So yes, Minuteman, not En, PRESS.com. That'll give you the overview of what we do here. Otherwise, you'll be able to get me literally the word email, same thing, at Minuteman Press. And so, yeah, feel free to email me. I'm also on LinkedIn, so if you find me specifically, feel free to reach out. I don't have any problems answering questions. It just sometimes may take me a bit.
Wendy, thank you. We really appreciate you for joining us today and sharing your thoughts and your tools and your words. And for you listeners, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of The Daily Influence. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful, positive day. Bye-bye.